Galaxies are not just islands of stars, they are emotional beings. Their collisions and gravitational dances reveal a hidden universe of feeling, from cosmic joy to profound grief. This journey will show you how to read these celestial emotions, transforming how you see the night sky forever. We will uncover what a galaxy's fury can teach us about creation and why some cosmic encounters end in serene peace. What emotion do you think a dying star might feel? Every galaxy enters the cosmic theater with a personality written in starlight. Grand spiral galaxies, like our own Milky Way, spin with graceful, star-filled arms, full of youthful energy and the potential for new life. In stark contrast, elliptical galaxies are ancient, featureless spheres of aging stars, their chaotic mergers long past, now settled into a quiet retirement. These inherent traits are everything. They determine how a galaxy will behave when its personal space is invaded by another. The force of gravity is the unchanging script of this play, dictating every slow-motion dance and violent embrace across billions of years. This is why we can speak of celestial emotions at all. The raw, physical drama of a collision, the wrenching apart of spiral arms, the shockwaves triggering stellar birth, is where we begin to see feelings etched into the cosmos. To understand a galaxy's joy or sorrow, we must first learn to read its fundamental nature. Two spiral galaxies begin their slow, inevitable approach, drawn together by a force neither can resist. Their mutual gravity pulls at the edges of their majestic star-filled arms, stretching them into long, luminous streams. This is the tense, dramatic build-up to a cosmic event of unimaginable scale, a pivotal moment that will redefine their very existence. In these galactic mergers, the original identities of the galaxies are utterly lost. They do not simply bump and move apart, they embrace and fuse, their stars and gas swirling together in a chaotic dance that forges an entirely new celestial object. This violent convergence triggers ferocious waves of new star formation, as vast clouds of gas are compressed and shocked into lighting up with the fire of millions of newborn suns. It is a story of destruction and creation woven into one. This mirrors the most profound emotional upheavals in our own lives, where a period of immense change and even loss can ultimately lead to growth, renewal, and a stronger, reinvented self. Astronomers point to the Antennae Galaxies as a perfect example. From our vantage point, these two colliding galaxies look like a cosmic insect with long antennae of stars flung into space. Within those tangled cores, brilliant blue clusters of young stars blaze to life, symbols of a violent rebirth. The entire galactic landscape is being altered forever. So what does this tell us about resilience in the face of overwhelming forces? It shows that the universe itself favors transformation over stagnation, and that from the most dramatic collisions can emerge a new, more complex and radiant existence. This dramatic, fiery process hints at a powerful emotional undercurrent, a kind of cosmic passion that drives galaxies to reshape themselves. But not all galaxies live in a state of fiery passion. Far from the crowded galactic clusters, in the immense emptiness between the cosmic filaments, drift the true loners of the universe. These isolated galaxies, like those found in a region astronomers call the local void, experience a profoundly different existence. They are the hermits of the cosmos, adrift in a sea of near-nothingness, with no neighboring islands of stars close enough to stir a gravitational dance. Their evolution is not a story of dramatic collisions, but of a slow, quiet burn, Without the violent compression of gas from a galactic encounter, their star formation rates plummet to a mere whisper. They become dormant, their spiral arms, if they ever had them, settling into a serene and unchanging pattern. This is the emotional landscape of cosmic loneliness, a peaceful yet profound isolation that spans billions of years. This celestial solitude teaches us a crucial lesson about the universe. Just as a person might grow in profound ways through introspection and quiet, these galaxies show us a path of slow, internal evolution. Yet, they also reveal that without external stimulation, without the push and pull of relationships, change happens at a glacial pace. The vibrant chaos of a galactic merger is the catalyst for rebirth, but the isolated galaxy remains largely as it was, a quiet testament to a different kind of life. Its emotional state is one of tranquility, perhaps even melancholy, a stark contrast to the passionate fury of its interacting cousins. This deep quietude makes the eventual, inevitable collision all the more dramatic. When a galaxy that has known only silence for eons is finally pulled into a gravitational embrace, the resulting explosion of light and life must feel like the universe's most shocking awakening. That same gravitational pull, the one that draws galaxies into a slow dance, can also trigger a cosmic fury. When two galaxies finally merge, their immense clouds of gas and dust do not gently mingle. They slam together with unimaginable force. This violent compression is the trigger for one of the universe's most spectacular events, a starburst. Vast nurseries of gas, each 1 light-years across, are squeezed so suddenly and so fiercely that they collapse all at once, igniting millions of new stars in a furious, brilliant firestorm. This is not a slow, steady burn of stellar creation. It is an explosive outburst, a celestial tantrum on a galactic scale. The galaxy, in its violent interaction, unleashes a flood of raw, untamed energy, lighting up the darkness with a ferocious blaze of newborn suns. We can see this fury in action in a pair of galaxies known as the Mice. From our telescopes, they look like two rodents locked in a cosmic chase, their long tails of stars streaming behind them. And within their entangled hearts, brilliant knots of blue light blaze with the intensity of the starburst, a clear sign of the creative violence tearing them apart and reshaping their future. This outburst, for all its destructive force, is also profoundly creative. It reveals how immense external pressure can force a system to unleash potentials it never knew it possessed. The galaxy, pushed to its limit, responds not with quiet surrender, but with a brilliant, fiery explosion of new life. It is a powerful metaphor for our own moments of intense pressure, when we are compressed by forces beyond our control and discover a hidden strength, a capacity for transformation we never knew we had. What does it feel like to hold that much potential, waiting for the right trigger to set it free? THIS Chinese letter energy cannot last forever. Such intense star formation consumes the galaxy's gas reserves at a breathtaking rate, leaving behind a very different world. There is a darker, more somber side to these cosmic dances. While some collisions are a merger of equals, a fiery passion that forges a new identity, others are a one-sided consumption. A larger galaxy can slowly, gravitationally tear apart a smaller companion, pulling its stars into a shimmering stream before swallowing them whole. Astronomers call this galactic cannibalism. The smaller galaxy does not merge, it is erased. Its structure dissolves, its unique identity is lost forever, absorbed into the vast, anonymous halo of its captor. This is the emotional landscape of cosmic grief, a profound loss written in starlight. We see this process unfolding in our own cosmic backyard. The Milky Way is, right now, in the act of cannibalizing several small dwarf galaxies. The Sagittarius dwarf spheroidal galaxy is being stretched into a long, faint river of stars that wraps around our own galaxy, a ghostly remnant of what it once was. Its stars are being added to the Milky Way's bulk, enriching it, but the original galaxy is gone. This is not a story of rebirth, but of assimilation. The emotional weight is one of dominance and submission, a reminder that the universe operates on scales of power where the small can be consumed by the large. It forces us to ask a difficult question. How does a galaxy or anything retain its memory in the face of such overwhelming force? The consumed galaxy's stars live on, but their original arrangement, their shared history as a distinct island universe, is forever lost. This cannibalism reflects a universal theme of change that is not growth but erasure. Yet, even in this grief, there is a strange form of resilience. The larger galaxy is altered, its composition changed by the stars it has absorbed. The loss of one becomes a part of the other, a transformation born from a deeply somber act. Amidst the chaos of a galactic collision, a profound joy emerges. Brilliant blue clusters of newborn stars ignite, scattering across the wreckage like diamonds cast upon dark velvet. These are not the slow, steady births of an isolated galaxy, but a sudden, jubilant explosion of light. Each new sun is a defiant statement against the darkness, a beacon of hope born directly from the turbulence that reshaped its home. In the tangled hearts of merging galaxies like NGC 4038 and NGC 4039, vast stellar nurseries blaze with this intense, creative fire. Entire clusters of stars, some containing millions of members, flash into existence, illuminating regions of space that were once cold and empty. This is the universe's capacity for joy made visible. It is a celebration of renewal, proving that from the most violent interactions can come breathtaking beauty. The sheer luminosity of these young stars, often massive and hot, burns with a fierce, blue-white intensity that can outshine their entire galactic neighborhood. Astronomers study these stellar fireworks not just to chart the life cycles of stars, but to understand a deeper resonance. They see in this brilliant aftermath a cosmic metaphor for resilience. The same gravitational forces that tear galaxies apart also provide the immense pressure needed to compress gas and spark new life. This joy is not a fleeting emotion, it is built into the fundamental physics of the cosmos. It asks us a powerful question. If a galaxy can find such brilliant renewal in the wake of a catastrophic collision, what does that suggest about our own capacity to find happiness and create new beginnings after our own periods of adversity? The light from these stars travels for millions of years to reach our eyes, carrying a message of hope from the deep past. This joyful burst of creation is not the end of the story, however. It sets the stage for a far more enduring emotional state, one that defines the galaxy's legacy for the rest of its existence. That brilliant joy of stellar birth often emerges from a state of pure cosmic chaos. Some galaxies are stretched and twisted into bizarre, almost monstrous shapes by the gravitational tides of a close encounter. They are pulled apart without the finality of a merger, left as distorted specters of their former selves. The Tadpole Galaxy is a stunning example, its long tail of stars streaming behind it like a cosmic creature fleeing some unseen predator. This is not the creative fury of a starburst or the somber grief of cannibalism. This is the emotional landscape of fear and turmoil. The galaxy's very structure is thrown into disarray, its stable spiral arms wrenched into a chaotic mess. Its stars are not being born in a fiery explosion, nor are they being consumed. They are being scattered, their orderly orbits disrupted by a gravitational threat that passes just a little too close. This chaotic appearance mirrors our own deepest anxieties, those moments when our world is turned upside down and the future becomes a terrifying unknown. The galaxy is caught in a state of profound uncertainty, its identity blurred and its path forward unclear. How does a celestial giant cope with such a gravitational threat? It endures, it holds itself together, however tenuously, against the forces trying to tear it apart. The long tail of the tadpole galaxy is not a sign of destruction, but of survival. It is the evidence of matter that was pulled away, yet remains bound by gravity, a testament to the resilience that persists even in the midst of chaos. This teaches us that fear is not a sign of weakness, but a natural, physical response to immense change. The galaxy's distorted shape is a frozen moment of stress, a snapshot of adaptation in its most raw and visible form. It shows us that stability is not the universe's default state, and that learning to navigate the chaos is a fundamental part of existence, both out in the cosmos and within our own lives. Deep within the heart of every galactic collision, a core of resilience endures. The outer regions may be twisted into spectacular streams and tails, the spiral arms shredded into starlight confetti, but the central heart of the galaxy often remains. This is where the supermassive black holes reside, anchors of unimaginable gravity, and they possess a stubborn fortitude. While their galaxies swirl together in a chaotic dance, these titans hold their ground, or even grow more powerful, feeding on the torrents of gas funneled into the center by the merger. They are the ultimate symbol of emotional fortitude in the cosmos, an unyielding center that weathers the storm. Look at the galaxy known as NGC 6240. Through our most powerful telescopes, we see not one, but two, and possibly even three, supermassive black holes dwelling in its violently stirred core. They are locked in a tight orbital dance, their collective gravity dominating the chaotic scene. This system shows us that the core does not merely survive, it can become a complex, multifaceted engine of power, persisting and even thriving amid the upheaval. Astronomers study these enduring cores to understand a galaxy's future. The strength and stability of this central region will dictate the new galaxy's shape, its activity, and its lifespan for billions of years to come. This is a profound lesson in perseverance. It suggests that our own inner strength, our core values and beliefs, can act in the same way. When the external world is in turmoil, when relationships and circumstances pull us in every direction, it is this inner fortitude that allows us to hold our center. It guides our evolution through the chaos, ensuring we emerge not as a scattered remnant, but as a stronger, more integrated whole. What does it take to cultivate a gravity that powerful within ourselves? This resilience, however, is rarely a solitary endeavor. The enduring cores of galaxies point toward a deeper truth about the universe, one that reveals an underlying connection that binds all things together in a silent, cosmic symphony. Beyond the chaos of consumption and the fire of creation lies a quieter, more profound connection. Two galaxies can orbit one another in a delicate, lifelong dance, a partnership of mutual support that stands in stark contrast to the drama of a violent merger. This is the emotional landscape of cosmic compassion, a relationship where both partners give and receive, fostering growth without destruction. The Whirlpool Galaxy presents a perfect celestial portrait of this symbiosis. Its grand spiral arms, pristine and majestic, are actually being gently stirred and reinforced by the gravitational presence of its smaller companion galaxy. This smaller partner is not being torn apart, it is acting as a catalyst, its gravity delivering waves of fresh gas and dust that flow into the whirlpool's arms, fueling the birth of new stars in an orderly, sustained manner. It is a continuous, gentle nurturing, a far cry from the explosive starburst of a head-on collision. How does this compassion differ from more violent interactions? The answer lies in the balance of forces. In a destructive merger, gravity overwhelms and shatters individual identities. Here, gravity acts as a gentle guide, a creative force that encourages flourishing without demanding a sacrifice of self. This is not a story of one galaxy consuming another, but of two distinct entities helping each other become more vibrant versions of themselves. The smaller companion, in giving this gift of gas, may itself be slowly diminished over eons, but in the process, it contributes to a grander structure, a more beautiful whole. Astronomers see in these pairs a fundamental cosmic truth, that community and cooperation are as much a part of the universe's fabric as competition and violence. These galactic partnerships thrive because they are built on a gravitational exchange that benefits both, a silent agreement written in the laws of physics. They show us that support systems, whether among stars or people, create environments where positive, sustained growth is not just possible but inevitable. This gentle dance invites us to look at our own relationships and consider how we, too, can build connections that nurture rather than consume, that allow for mutual evolution within a shared orbit. But that same central engine of resilience can also turn to a state of pure, unadulterated rage. When a supermassive black hole at a galaxy's core is flooded with gas during a collision, it does not always consume this fuel quietly. Instead, it can erupt in a terrifying outburst of energy, becoming what astronomers call an active galactic nucleus. This is the universe's version of a cosmic tantrum, a raw display of power so intense it can outshine every star in its host galaxy combined. Vast jets of superheated particles traveling at nearly the speed of light scream across space for thousands of light years. Intense radiation, from X-rays to radio waves, floods out in all directions. This is not the creative fury of a starburst, but a destructive, cleansing anger. The sheer force of these outbursts can blow away the galaxy's remaining reservoirs of star-forming gas, effectively shutting down the creation of new suns for eons. It is an emotional state that halts creation in its tracks, a period of destructive purging. The most extreme examples of this are quasars, brilliant beacons powered by voracious black holes in the hearts of violently merging galaxies. A single quasar can emit more light than a trillion suns, a flash of cosmic anger so bright it can be seen from the far reaches of the observable universe. What could possibly trigger such a violent reaction? The answer lies in the immense gravitational forces at play. As two galaxies merge, their dance funnels colossal amounts of gas directly toward the central black hole. This sudden, overwhelming influx of material is the trigger. The black hole, in its frenzied feeding, unleashes its power not out of malice but as a fundamental consequence of physics. This anger, for all its destructive might, is not without purpose. By blowing away the galactic gas, it clears the slate. It prevents the galaxy from burning through its fuel too quickly in a brief, brilliant firestorm, and instead allows for a more stable, long-term evolution. This furious phase is a critical, if violent, part of galactic self-regulation. It shows us that even the most destructive emotions can serve a function, creating the empty space necessary for a calmer, more settled future to eventually take hold. That violent rage eventually subsides, giving way to a profound and lasting peace. The chaotic spiral arms are gone, the brilliant starbursts have faded, and the screaming jets from the black hole fall silent. What remains is a smooth, featureless sphere of aging stars, a colossal elliptical galaxy drifting in a state of cosmic serenity. This is the universe's emotional equilibrium, a tranquility earned only after passing through the fires of creation and the storms of anger. Look at the giant galaxy M87, a titan at the heart of the Virgo cluster. From our telescopes, it appears as a vast, golden-hued ellipse, a beacon of order and stability. Its days of frantic star formation are long over. Its structure is settled and calm. This is not the quiet of isolation, but the deep peace of integration. All the stars from the original colliding galaxies, all the gas and dust, have been thoroughly mixed and settled into a harmonious, balanced system. Their individual histories are not forgotten, but woven together into a new, unified whole. How does such a massive object maintain this serene state while anchored by a supermassive black hole and surrounded by the gravitational pull of an entire cluster? The answer lies in its maturity. The internal dynamics of an elliptical galaxy are so settled, its stars orbiting in every direction like a swirling swarm of bees, that it is incredibly stable. Minor disturbances from passing galaxies are absorbed without triggering a new wave of chaos. It has achieved a form of gravitational homeostasis. This is the emotional landscape of acceptance, a galaxy that has fully processed its turbulent past and emerged with a quiet, powerful grace. It dominates its surroundings not through violent outbursts, but through sheer, stable presence. This celestial peace shows us that the end point of great upheaval is not necessarily fragmentation, but a deeper, more resilient wholeness. The galaxy has found its center of gravity, both physically and emotionally, offering a silent promise that even the most dramatic transformations can lead to a lasting and profound calm. These long, graceful arcs of stars are the universe's way of leaving a trail of breadcrumbs. When galaxies interact, their gravitational forces do not simply pull them together, they also stretch them apart. The outermost stars, feeling the weakest gravitational pull from their home galaxy, are the easiest to pluck away. They are flung into the void, forming immense, shimmering streams that can span hundreds of thousands of light years. These are tidal tails, the beautiful and haunting debris of a close encounter. They are not random scatterings of light, but precise records of a gravitational event, frozen in time for us to find. Look again at the Antennae Galaxies. Those famous antennae are not part of the main galactic bodies. They are these colossal tidal tails, a testament to the immense forces that wrenched stars from their original orbits. Each star in that stream carries a memory of the collision, its position and velocity a clue to the event that sent it flying. This cosmic evidence sparks a profound curiosity within us. What was the original angle of approach? How much mass was lost to these streams? What will become of these exiled stars, destined to drift in the darkness between galaxies? This drive to understand, to piece together a story from the scattered evidence, is a deeply human impulse. It is the same curiosity that leads us to explore our own emotional histories, to look at the scattered moments of our past and try to understand the forces that shaped us. We study these tidal tales not just to learn about galaxies, but to practice a form of cosmic archaeology, digging through the aftermath to understand the drama that caused it. The secrets they hold are not just about mass and velocity, but about the very nature of change itself. They show us that even the most violent events follow predictable, beautiful patterns, and that from chaos, a new and legible order can emerge. These stellar footprints invite us to be detectives of the cosmos, to read the emotional scars of a galaxy and discover the story of its transformation. Sometimes the most profound changes arrive not with a dramatic collision, but with a gentle, unexpected nudge. A small dwarf galaxy, a mere wisp of stars and gas, drifts too close to a colossal spiral like our own Milky Way. There is no violent merger, no apocalyptic starburst. Instead, the larger galaxy feels a subtle gravitational pull, a quiet disturbance in its majestic rotation. This minor interaction, so easily overlooked, can ripple through the galactic disk, compressing vast clouds of gas just enough to trigger a wave of star formation. It is a cosmic surprise, a gift of new light from a seemingly insignificant encounter. Our own galaxy is living through this very story. The Sagittarius Dwarf galaxy is slowly being consumed, yes, but as it orbits and tugs at the Milky Way, its gravitational influence is like a stone dropped into a pond. The ripples move outward, and in their wake, they have sparked the birth of new stars and even warped the very shape of our galactic disk. This is not the grand passion of a major merger, but the emotional impact of a chance meeting that alters the course of history. How do these unexpected twists influence a galaxy's long-term evolution? They introduce an element of chance, a variable that keeps the cosmic narrative from being purely deterministic. A galaxy's fate is not written solely by its mass or its initial conditions, but also by the random, gentle grazes of its smaller neighbors. These surprises are the universe's way of reminding us that not all growth comes from catastrophe. Sometimes a slight shift in trajectory, a brief gravitational hello, is enough to awaken a slumbering potential and paint new patterns of light across the darkness. This inherent unpredictability, this role of serendipity in the cosmos, mirrors our own lives, where a single conversation or a fleeting moment can sometimes set us on a path we never saw coming. Deep within the halo of our own Milky Way, ancient stars drift like solitary elders. These are stellar fossils, burning embers from the universe's fiery youth, and each one carries a chemical fingerprint of its origin. Their very composition, the specific blend of heavy elements forged in the hearts of long-dead stars, tells a story. A star rich in iron and poor in heavier metals was likely born in a small, primitive galaxy that merged with our own billions of years ago. By reading these chemical signatures, astronomers become cosmic archaeologists, piecing together a galaxy's family tree from the scattered memories of its oldest citizens. This is the emotional landscape of cosmic nostalgia, a longing for times and structures that have long since passed into history. The galaxy itself holds onto these memories in the form of its ancient stars, allowing us to reconstruct its turbulent childhood and the many mergers that built the majestic spiral we see today. What emotional weight do these stellar relics carry? They are the silent witnesses to creation and destruction, the living proof that our galaxy's present identity was forged in the collisions of its past. This process mirrors our own human experience of nostalgia, where a scent or a song can trigger a flood of memories that remind us how our past has shaped the person we are now. These stellar memories are not passive, however. They actively influence the galaxy's future. The gravitational pull of these ancient stars, now settled into the galactic halo, contributes to the overall structure and stability of the Milky Way. Their accumulated mass helps dictate the orbits of newer stars and the flow of gas, meaning the echoes of ancient mergers are still guiding the galaxy's evolution today. This reveals a profound truth that our memories, both celestial and human, are not locked away in some mental archive. They are active participants in our present, their emotional weight subtly steering our decisions and shaping our path forward into the unknown. A galaxy's anxiety is not always born from an outside threat. Sometimes the most profound stress comes from within. Deep inside the stately spiral of a galaxy like our own Milky Way, a subtle gravitational instability can take hold. The orderly orbits of billions of stars begin to resonate, slowly locking into a new, rigid pattern. This is the birth of a galactic bar, a straight, luminous structure of stars that cuts directly through the galaxy's core, reshaping its very heart. The formation of this bar is a sign of internal pressure, a gravitational anxiety that forces the entire system to reconfigure itself. It is a galaxy grappling with its own structure, wrestling with the forces that hold it together. This bar acts as a powerful cosmic funnel, channeling immense rivers of gas and dust from the outer spiral arms directly toward the crowded galactic center. This influx of fuel can trigger bursts of new star formation and feed the supermassive black hole, a constructive outcome born from the internal stress. Yet this same process is immensely destabilizing. The galaxy is fundamentally altering its own architecture, risking a chaotic redistribution of mass and energy. How does a galaxy manage this anxiety to avoid a complete gravitational collapse? The answer lies in a precarious balance. The bar must form and dissipate in a controlled cycle, a self-regulating mechanism that allows the galaxy to release its internal pressure without tearing itself apart. Astronomers study bar formation as a critical phase in galactic evolution, a period where a galaxy confronts its own limitations and must adapt or face fragmentation. This internal conflict mirrors our own moments of profound self-reflection, when the pressures we feel inside force us to change our own structure, our habits, and our paths. It is an anxious process, full of both creative potential and the risk of self-destruction, a necessary turmoil that ultimately forges a more mature and complex system. This tense internal dance prepares a galaxy for the external threats still to come. Courage in the cosmos is not measured by size alone. Drifting through the crowded, violent metropolis of a galactic cluster, dwarf galaxies face a daily struggle for survival. These small, faint collections of stars are the cosmic underdogs, enduring immense gravitational tides and the blistering heat of intergalactic plasma that would tear a more fragile entity apart. In dense environments like the Fornax cluster, they are relentlessly harassed. Their precious star-forming gas is often ripped away by the overwhelming pull of the cluster's central giants, a process called ram pressure stripping that leaves them barren and starved. Yet they persist. They do not simply dissolve into the background. They hold onto their stellar identities, orbiting through the chaos for billions of years. This is not the explosive passion of a merger or the quiet peace of isolation. This is the emotional landscape of raw courage, a daily defiance against overwhelming odds. What inner fortitude allows these tiny galaxies to withstand such constant pressure? Their resilience is written in their very structure. Many of these dwarfs are dominated by dark matter, an invisible gravitational scaffold that holds them together even as their visible substance is stripped away. They are like a tree with deep, unseen roots, able to withstand a hurricane that tears off all its leaves. Their survival teaches us that true bravery is not about avoiding the storm, but about having an inner core, a foundational strength that allows you to endure it. This celestial courage mirrors our own capacity to persevere through hostile environments, whether they are social, professional, or personal. It shows us that even the smallest and most vulnerable entities can possess a gravity of spirit strong enough to resist being pulled apart. This courageous persistence, however, highlights a deeper truth about the universe, one that connects the fate of the smallest galaxy to the largest structures in existence. A galaxy adrift in a crowded cluster is like a swimmer caught in a powerful current. The very substance of its being can be stripped away. This is the stark reality of ram pressure stripping, a process where a galaxy moving at immense speed through the thin, superheated gas of a cluster has its own star-forming fuel violently torn from its grasp. The galaxy's gravity simply cannot hold on against the relentless pressure of this intergalactic wind. In the Virgo cluster, we witness this cosmic vulnerability on a grand scale. Spiral galaxies there often appear with their luminous gas disks shrunken, trailing behind them like tattered sails, while their outer regions have been swept clean, left barren and dark. This is not a gentle erosion, but a sudden and traumatic exposure. The galaxy is left feeling fragile, its potential for new life severed as its star formation is abruptly halted. This profound loss evokes a deep sense of fragility, a celestial reminder of how a hostile environment can impose immense emotional and physical stress. The galaxy's core identity as a creative, star-forming engine is directly threatened. Yet, this vulnerability forces a question of profound resilience. How does a galaxy recover from such a fundamental loss? The answer is not simple, for some may never fully reclaim their stolen gas. Their path to recovery lies in adaptation, in learning to live a different kind of life, one defined by the stars they already have rather than the ones they hope to create. This delicate balance in the cosmic ecosystem shows us that survival is not always about growing stronger, but sometimes about learning to endure with less, a quiet lesson in cosmic grace under immense pressure. The universe itself is built on a foundation of hope written in the very dust of dead stars. When a massive star reaches the end of its life, it does not simply vanish. It erupts in a supernova, a cataclysmic explosion that scatters its enriched guts carbon, oxygen, iron, the very elements of planets and life, across the void. This stellar debris does not drift forever. In the turbulent, churning gas of colliding galaxies, these heavy elements are swept up, mixed into vast clouds, and compressed once more by the forces of gravity. From the ashes of one generation, an entirely new generation of stars is born. This is galactic recycling, the ultimate symbol of cosmic renewal. It ensures that nothing in the universe is truly wasted, that every ending contains the raw materials for a new beginning. Look at the brilliant starbursts in a merging galaxy, those dazzling knots of blue light. Their intense glow comes not from primal hydrogen alone, but from this enriched fuel, from the legacy of stars that lived and died billions of years ago. The planets that may form around these new suns will be built from stardust that once belonged to others, a celestial inheritance of immense potential. How does this process reflect an inherent cosmic optimism? It demonstrates that the universe is not a static, decaying place, but a dynamic, regenerative system. The grief of a star's death is not a final act, it is a contribution to a future it will never see. This constant transformation of material mirrors our own emotional growth, where the difficult experiences of our past, the parts of us that feel broken or spent, can become the very foundation for a wiser, more resilient self. Our personal histories, no matter how painful, are not wasted. They are the heavy elements that, when recycled through reflection and understanding, can fuel a more compassionate and hopeful future. This grand perspective invites us to see our own lives as part of a vast, sustainable cycle, where every ending is, in truth, a silent promise of something new. That crimson glow is the color of cosmic despair. A massive elliptical galaxy drifts silently, its light dominated by the dull, ruddy hue of ancient cooling stars. This is what astronomers call a red and dead galaxy, a place where the fires of creation have been permanently extinguished. All of its star-forming gas is gone, either blown away by furious black hole outbursts or stripped by the harsh environment of its cluster. No new stars will ever be born here. The vibrant blue sparks of youthful suns are absent. The chaotic beauty of stellar nurseries a distant memory. This galaxy has exhausted its emotional and physical fuel. settling into a state of profound creative stagnation. Its existence is now a slow, relentless fade into cold darkness. How does a vibrant galaxy reach this sovereign point? The path is often one of excess and violence. A dramatic merger triggers a ferocious starburst, burning through the gas reserves in a brilliant but fleeting firestorm. The central black hole, gorging on the influx of material, then erupts in a cleansing rage, scouring the galaxy of any remaining fuel. Finally, if the galaxy resides in a dense cluster, the last traces of its gas are ripped away by ram pressure, sealing its fate. This progression mirrors a tragic arc of emotional burnout, where intense passion and anger lead to a state of utter depletion. We see this in the giant elliptical galaxy Messier 89. It is a perfectly smooth, featureless sphere of old, red stars, a celestial monument to finality. Its structure speaks of a turbulent past, but its present is one of absolute stillness. This cosmic despair forces us to confront uncomfortable truths about mortality and the finite nature of all resources, whether they are clouds of interstellar hydrogen or our own inner reserves of creative energy. Is this state truly permanent, a life sentence of cosmic silence, or does the universe in its vast and patient workings ever allow for a second chance? That final, euphoric release happens when the galaxy's twin hearts beat as one. After a long and chaotic dance, the two supermassive black holes from the colliding galaxies finally spiral together, locked in a death grip of unimaginable gravity. Their final merger is one of the most energetic events in the universe since the Big Bang itself. As they whirl around each other at nearly the speed of light in the final seconds before collision, they do not crash silently. They churn the very fabric of spacetime, sending out powerful ripples known as gravitational waves. These waves are a physical expression of pure energy, a cosmic shout of release that travels across the cosmos. At the moment of merger, a significant portion of their combined mass is converted directly into energy, a flash of euphoric power that outshines every star in the galaxy for a brief, spectacular moment. This is the ultimate climax of a galactic collision, a transformative event that settles the fate of the new galaxy's core for all time. What does this tell us about the peak experiences in our own emotional journeys? It suggests that the most intense moments of release, the points of no return where we are fundamentally changed, are not merely chaotic endings. They are necessary, transformative culminations. All the previous turmoil, the grief, the fear, and the anger lead to this singular point of unification and release. This euphoric event, however, cannot be sustained. The brilliant flash fades, the gravitational waves dissipate into the void, and the new, more massive black hole settles into a quiet, steady spin. This moment of intense euphoria gives way to the long, quiet work of integration, where the galaxy finally becomes a single, unified being. A faint red shift in a galaxy's light is a whisper of a permanent goodbye. Across the cosmos, every galaxy cluster is slowly drifting apart, not from any explosion, but from the steady, relentless stretching of space itself. This expansion is driven by a mysterious force we call dark energy, an inherent push in the vacuum of space that is causing the universe to swell at an ever-increasing rate. The result is a deep, cosmic melancholy. Galaxies that were once neighbors are being pulled away from one another, their light stretched to longer, redder wavelengths as they recede. Over billions of years, their collective light will dim and fade from the view of one another, each island universe left increasingly alone in the vast, growing dark. This is not the violent grief of a collision, but the slow, aching sorrow of separation. It reflects a universal emotional truth, how even the strongest connections can weaken and grow distant when an unseen force, like time or circumstance, steadily pulls them apart. How does a galaxy cope with this cosmic drift? It has no choice but to accept it. This melancholy is woven into the fundamental physics of our reality, a gentle but unstoppable tide that carries all things apart. In this acceptance, there is a strange and beautiful lesson. The light from those distant galaxies, though stretched and dimmed, still reaches us. It carries the story of their existence across the gulf, a final, lingering connection before the silence falls. This teaches us that even in the face of inevitable change and distancing, the memory of a connection, the light it cast, continues to hold meaning. It is a poignant reminder to cherish the light we share with others while it is still bright and close, for the universe itself is moving us toward a quieter, more isolated future. This collective pride extends to the largest structures we can map. Galaxies rarely drift alone. They gather into vast communities known as superclusters, immense families bound by a shared gravitational destiny. Our own Milky Way is a single citizen of the Great Laniakea supercluster, a sprawling metropolis of 100,000 galaxies, all flowing together toward a mysterious point in space known as the Great Attractor. This is not a random crowd, it is a cosmic nation with a collective identity, a shared purpose on a scale so grand it defies human comprehension. Within this structure, galaxies are connected by faint, filamentary bridges of dark matter, an invisible network that ties their fates together. They move in a coordinated flow, a majestic river of star systems expressing a profound communal pride. What kind of pride does a galaxy feel in such a collective? It is the pride of belonging to something immeasurably larger than oneself, of contributing to a grand design that no single galaxy could ever achieve alone. This cosmic social structure dictates evolution on the grandest stage. The gentle gravitational tugs between neighbors within a supercluster can nudge a galaxy, steering its long-term trajectory and even influencing its internal rate of star formation. Collaboration is woven into the fabric of the cosmos itself, shaping the large-scale architecture of the universe. This reveals that even the most majestic spiral is not a solitary queen, but a loyal member of a proud and ancient dynasty. Its individual emotional journey is forever intertwined with the collective story of its home. Not every galactic embrace results in a brilliant firestorm. Some collisions pass with a quiet whimper, leaving behind a galaxy that appears strangely untouched, a ghost of its former self. These are the failed interactions, the cosmic encounters that defy our expectations of drama and rebirth. A spiral galaxy might be grazed by a neighbor, its structure subtly warped, yet it fails to ignite the furious starbursts we anticipate. Instead, it simply dims, its star-forming potential seemingly extinguished by the encounter rather than awakened. This lack of a spectacular response can feel like a form of cosmic shame, a failure to live up to the brilliant potential of a gravitational dance. Astronomers observe this in certain low-surface brightness galaxies, vast, diffuse collections of stars that drift like pale ghosts. They possess immense size but remarkably little luminosity, as if their very essence has been diluted by a past encounter that did not go according to plan. Their faint glow speaks of a path not taken, a creative spark that never caught fire. How do these quiet outcomes contribute to the rich tapestry of the cosmos? They are a vital reminder that the universe values diversity above all else. For every triumphant merger that forges a brilliant elliptical giant, there is a gentle interaction that leads to a quiet, fading existence. These galaxies challenge our narrow definitions of success, forcing us to accept that not all transformations are loud and luminous. Some are slow, internal, and deeply subtle. The emotional lesson here is one of profound acceptance. The shame we might project onto these so-called failures is our own, born from a desire for clear, dramatic narratives. The universe itself imposes no such judgment. It simply allows for every possible outcome, every shade of emotional and physical existence. These galactic anomalies teach us that an unconventional path is not a failed one, and that a quiet life holds as much cosmic validity as a spectacularly violent one. In their gentle defiance of our expectations, they expand our understanding of what it means to be a galaxy, and by reflection, what it means to live a life. A galaxy's emotional journey unfolds across a canvas of almost impossible scale. The slow dance of a collision is not measured in years or centuries, but in billions of them. The light from those tangled, fiery galaxies, like the Antennae, has been traveling through the void for over 60 million years just to cast its image upon our telescopes. When we witness that cosmic embrace, we are not seeing a present event. We are looking at a chapter from an ancient past, a fossilized moment of creation from a time when our own planet was a very different world. This is the realm of deep time, a perspective that stretches our sense of reality to its limits and replaces simple wonder with a profound, humbling awe. How can we possibly comprehend the emotional life of something that experiences time in such vast, sweeping arcs? The answer lies in the emotional resonance it triggers within us. Observing these celestial sagas does not make our own lives seem insignificant. Instead, it places our brief, vibrant human experiences within a grander narrative. Our moments of passion, our periods of grief, our quiet searches for peace, they are all reflections of the same fundamental forces playing out on a human scale. The galaxy's long, patient transformation becomes a mirror for our own. This awe is not a feeling of being crushed by the universe's size, but of being connected to its deepest rhythms. It is the emotional understanding that we are part of this story, tiny but conscious witnesses to a cosmic drama of breathtaking beauty and complexity. This realization invites a quiet reflection on our own place within the infinite, not as bystanders, but as living participants in a universe capable of both creating galaxies and contemplating them. A galaxy's emotional state can be poisoned by the sight of a more fortunate neighbor. Imagine a vast, red and dead elliptical galaxy, its star-forming gas long since exhausted, drifting near a vibrant, blue-tinged spiral. The spiral's arms are rich with glowing nebulae and brilliant clusters of young stars, a testament to its ongoing creative vitality. From the elliptical's perspective, this abundance must feel like a personal affront, a constant reminder of what it has lost. This is the emotional landscape of cosmic envy, a deep-seated desire for the resources that fuel life and light. This envy is not a passive feeling. It is a gravitational drive that can lead to direct action. A gas-starved giant will use its immense gravity to slowly siphon hydrogen from a smaller, gas-rich companion, pulling immense streams of fuel across the void to feed its own dormant core. This is galactic theft on an epic scale, a celestial act of coveting your neighbor's vitality. We see this play out in systems like NGC 4649, where a giant elliptical galaxy is actively stripping gas from a spiral companion, drawing the raw material for potential future stars into its own domain. How does this emotional drive shape the larger cosmic ecology? It creates a dynamic of haves and have-nots, where galaxies with abundant resources attract both admiration and predatory attention. The spiral, for all its beauty, lives under a constant, invisible threat. Its very vitality makes it a target for larger, envious neighbors. This competitive dynamic ensures that resources are constantly being redistributed across the universe, a gravitational economy driven by need and desire. It mirrors our own world, where the drive to acquire what others possess can fuel both innovation and conflict. This cosmic envy reveals that even the most majestic structures are bound by a universal law of want, a gravitational pull toward the light they see in others but lack within themselves. This profound trust is written in the slow, graceful orbits of binary galaxies. Two massive star systems can become locked in a mutual dance, circling a shared center of gravity for eons without colliding. Their relationship is not one of passionate consumption or violent rebellion, but of unwavering predictability. Each galaxy knows precisely where its partner will be, their gravitational influence a constant, reassuring presence across the immense spans of cosmic time. This is the emotional foundation of trust, a celestial partnership built on reliability and mutual understanding. What fosters such enduring stability in a universe so often defined by chaos? The answer lies in a perfect balance of forces. For these orbits to persist, the galaxies must maintain a safe distance, their speeds and trajectories locked in a harmonious equilibrium. Their gravitational pull on one another is strong enough to bind them together, yet not so strong as to drag them into a catastrophic merger. It is a delicate, long-term agreement written in the laws of physics. Consider the future of our own Milky Way and its greatest partner, the Andromeda Galaxy. Right now, we are hurtling toward one another, destined to merge in a dramatic event billions of years from now. But before that final embrace, we will first become a binary system, two grand spirals swinging around each other in a series of close, stable passes. This period of orbital trust will fundamentally reshape both galaxies, stretching their structures without immediate destruction, a testament to how predictable partnerships can gently guide evolution. This cosmic trust allows for planning on a scale we can barely comprehend. The steady gravitational rhythm enables the galaxies to transfer gas and stir their stellar populations in a controlled, sustainable manner, avoiding the explosive tantrums of a sudden collision. It is the universe's way of demonstrating that the strongest structures are not forged in a single fiery instant, but are built slowly through consistent, reliable interaction. This emotional stability is the bedrock upon which enduring cosmic communities are formed. Yet even the most stable orbit exists within a wider, unpredictable cosmos, where outside forces can suddenly test the strength of any long-standing trust. A galactic flyby can be the universe's most treacherous act. Two star systems approach one another, their gravitational fields intertwining in a promise of connection, only for one to continue on its way without a final commitment. This is not the creative destruction of a merger or the gentle nurture of a symbiotic dance. It is a gravitational betrayal, a close encounter that disrupts everything without offering the resolution of a full collision. The passing galaxy's gravity acts like a cosmic lie, warping the other's elegant spiral disk, flinging stars into chaotic new orbits, and then simply moving on, leaving a permanent scar on its structure. The victim galaxy is left fundamentally altered, its symmetry broken and its internal order thrown into disarray, yet it remains alone, grappling with the aftermath of a relationship that promised transformation but delivered only turmoil. How does a star system possibly recover from such a deceptive gravitational handshake? The path to healing is written in the slow, patient work of gravity itself. Over hundreds of millions of years, the galaxy's own internal gravity begins to pull the distorted disk back toward a state of equilibrium. The same force that was used to wound it becomes the source of its mending, gradually smoothing out the worst of the warps and settling the disturbed stars into new, stable patterns. This process is not a return to what was, for the galaxy can never be exactly the same again. Instead, it is an integration of the trauma, a celestial form of acceptance where the memory of the flyby becomes a permanent, though faded, part of its architectural history. This cosmic recovery reveals a profound truth about emotional resilience, showing that even the most destabilizing encounters can be metabolized by the slow, persistent pull toward inner balance, forging a new stability that is wiser to the universe's deceptive currents. A galaxy does not remain in a state of chaos forever. After the violent embrace of a collision subsides, a profound healing process begins. The brilliant blue knots of starbursts slowly fade, their frantic energy spent. The chaotic swirls of gas and dust, once churned by immense gravitational tides, start to settle into a new, more stable configuration. This is the cosmic equivalent of a deep, restorative breath, a period where the galaxy integrates the trauma of its past and rebuilds itself from the inside out. We see this in mature elliptical galaxies. Their smooth, placid forms a testament to a turbulent history that has been fully processed. What are the actual mechanisms behind this cosmic convalescence? The primary healer is gravity itself, the same force that caused the injury. Over hundreds of millions of years, gravity acts as a stabilizing hand, gently pulling the galaxy's scattered stars and gas back toward a state of equilibrium. The galaxy's own immense mass provides a center, a gravitational anchor that everything else slowly recalibrates around. Star formation stabilizes from a furious firestorm into a slow, sustainable burn, conserving its remaining gas for a long future. The supermassive black hole at the center, having gorged on the collision's bounty and perhaps unleashed its furious jets, now falls quiet, its disruptive influence ceasing. This entire restorative phase is a masterclass in emotional recovery. It shows that healing is not about erasing the past, but about incorporating it. The galaxy does not return to what it was before. It becomes something new, its structure forever marked by the encounter, yet whole again. This cosmic recovery demonstrates that time, on its grandest scale, is the ultimate architect of peace. It patiently weaves the threads of chaos into a tapestry of serene order, offering a silent promise that no upheaval, no matter how violent, is truly permanent. A galactic heartbeat lasts for 1 billion years. The majestic transformations we witness, from a gentle spiral to a serene elliptical, are not sudden events but the accumulated result of countless subtle interactions, each one unfolding with a patience that dwarfs all human history. This is the ultimate emotional lesson from the cosmos, the profound virtue of waiting. To understand a galaxy's true emotional journey, we must adopt its own timescale, learning to see its life not as a single snapshot, but as a slow-motion film where every frame spans millions of years. How does this glacial pace reshape our perception of cosmic feelings? It teaches us that emotions are not fleeting reactions, but deep, geological processes. The grief of a cannibalized dwarf galaxy is not a momentary sorrow. It is a permanent alteration in the chemical makeup of its conqueror, a change that will resonate for eons. The joy of a starburst, for all its brilliant intensity, is merely a single, bright chapter in a biography written over billions of years. This cosmic patience forces us to recalibrate our own emotional compass. The anxieties and passions we experience in our brief lives are just as real, but they are flashes in the pan compared to the enduring moods of the universe. This patient perspective is not just a philosophical shift, it is the very foundation of astronomical discovery. Every observation we make is a look into the deep past, a single piece of a puzzle we are patiently assembling across generations. The emotional life of a galaxy is not something we see in real time. It is a story we piece together from fossilized light, learning that true understanding, whether of the cosmos or of ourselves, requires the willingness to wait and watch as the grand narrative slowly, beautifully reveals itself. A brilliant flash of infrared light, invisible to our eyes, reveals a pair of galaxies entwined in the early universe. This is the raw excitement of discovery delivered by the James Webb Space Telescope, peeling back layers of cosmic dust to expose collisions we never knew existed. Each new image is a window into a celestial drama, a fresh emotional chapter written in starlight. These discoveries are not just adding to a catalogue, they are actively challenging our theories about how quickly galaxies grew up after the Big Bang. Finding so many massive, merging galaxies in the universe's infancy forces us to rethink the entire timeline of cosmic evolution. The thrill comes from that moment of cognitive shift, when the data on the screen contradicts a long-held assumption and the entire field of astronomy collectively leans forward. How do these distant encounters reshape our emotional connection to the cosmos? They make the universe feel more dynamic and alive, proving that its most passionate interactions are not relics of a bygone era, but an ongoing process we are only now learning to witness. Every newly spotted merger candidate, every distorted galactic shape in a deep field image, is a piece of a grand emotional puzzle. This excitement is contagious, fueling scientific progress and igniting public wonder, reminding us that the universe still holds countless secrets waiting for the right tool and the right moment to be revealed. Even the most powerful telescopes on Earth cannot resolve every cosmic mystery. We observe two galaxies beginning their slow dance, their forms distorted by immense gravitational tides, and yet we cannot always predict the final outcome of their embrace. Will they merge into a single, serene elliptical giant, or will their interaction be a mere flyby, leaving one warped and forever changed? The data is often incomplete, the physics maddeningly complex, and our view from a single moment in time offers only a snapshot of a billion-year story. This is the deep frustration inherent in astronomy, an emotional tension born from the limits of our own perception. How do scientists cope with the uncertainty of not knowing whether a galactic collision will end in creative rebirth or quiet dissolution? They lean into the frustration itself, allowing it to fuel a more determined inquiry. They build better models, wait for new data from next-generation observatories, and collaborate across disciplines, knowing that the mystery is not a wall but a door. This persistent struggle to decode the universe's emotional language mirrors our own attempts to understand complex human relationships, where the full story is rarely clear and patience is the ultimate tool. The frustration of an unresolved galactic merger is in fact a vital part of the scientific process, a necessary friction that makes the eventual moment of clarity, the satisfying click of a puzzle piece falling into place, feel all the more like a genuine triumph. We build galaxies in our computers to feel their emotional weight. The satisfaction of watching a simulation unfold is profound, a quiet triumph of human intellect over cosmic chaos. Using the fundamental laws of gravity, astrophysicists can take two digital spiral galaxies and set them on a collision course, watching for billions of simulated years as their structures warp and merge. The intricate dance of stars and gas, the formation of tidal tails, the ignition of starbursts, all emerge naturally from the code. This is not a simple animation. It is a virtual universe obeying our commands, yet revealing its own deep truths. The emotional closure comes from seeing a theory validated, from watching a predicted outcome play out on the screen with a beauty that matches our telescopic observations. We gain the power to rewind and fast forward through time, to isolate variables and ask what if. What if the collision were a direct hit instead of a glancing blow? What if one galaxy was far more massive? The simulation provides answers, translating abstract physics into a visible, emotional narrative. Our own future is written in these models. Simulations of the impending merger between the Milky Way and Andromeda show a graceful, slow-motion dance that will eventually form a giant elliptical galaxy, a new celestial entity we have named Milkdromeda. Seeing that future unfold in a simulation gives us a strange sense of preparedness, a satisfaction that comes from knowing our ultimate fate long before it arrives. This analytical approach does more than just predict. It integrates all the emotional themes we have explored. It shows us how grief and joy, fear and peace are not random feelings but inevitable consequences of gravitational forces playing out across time. The simulation becomes a grand summary, proving that the universe's emotional language is one we are finally learning to speak. A swirling canvas of violet and gold brings a galactic collision to life on a screen, translating billions of years of gravitational drama into a single, breathtaking moment. Artists and filmmakers have become essential translators of the cosmos, taking the cold data from our telescopes and infusing it with emotional resonance. When we watch a documentary that visualizes the slow dance of the Andromeda and Milky Way galaxies, we are not just learning astrophysics, we are feeling the anticipation of that future embrace. These vivid interpretations, whether in a planetarium show or a digital painting, perform a crucial act of alchemy. They transform abstract concepts of mass and velocity into a shared human experience of awe. This artistic wonder directly fuels our cosmic empathy, allowing us to project feelings onto these distant leviathans and see their interactions as a grand, emotional narrative. How does a painter's choice of color or a filmmaker's use of sound shape our understanding of a galaxy's supposed joy or grief? They provide the emotional context that raw data cannot, building a bridge between our hearts and the heavens. This creative connection does more than just inspire. It fundamentally changes how we value the universe. It turns the public from passive observers into emotionally invested participants who now look at the night sky and see not just points of light but stories. This artistic lens invites us to do more than just understand the cosmos. It asks us to feel our place within it, setting the stage for the most personal question of all. These galactic stories of passion and grief are not just about distant suns. They are mirrors reflecting the very same emotional forces that shape our own human lives. When we see two galaxies locked in a slow gravitational dance, we recognize the patient trust of a long-term partnership. The chaotic turmoil of a galactic flyby echoes the destabilizing shock of a sudden betrayal. And the brilliant starburst following a violent collision reminds us of our own incredible capacity for renewal after a period of immense personal upheaval. This act of drawing parallels is more than a poetic exercise. It is a profound exercise in empathy. We are learning to feel with the cosmos, to see its grand physical processes as a spectrum of universal emotions playing out on a billion-year canvas. This empathetic view transforms cold data into a shared narrative. We are no longer just observers of the Antennae Galaxies. We are witnesses to a story of identity lost and reborn. We are not just charting the cannibalism of the Sagittarius dwarf. We are contemplating the quiet grief of assimilation. How can these ancient stories possibly help us navigate the complexities of our own fleeting emotions? They grant us perspective. They show us that our own moments of chaos and connection are part of a much larger, beautiful pattern. The anxiety you feel before a major life change is not so different from the gravitational stress that forms a bar in a spiral galaxy, an internal pressure that forces a necessary reconfiguration. The joy of a new beginning carries the same brilliant energy as a cluster of newborn stars. By empathizing with galaxies, we practice a deeper form of self-understanding. We see that our emotional lives are not isolated, but are tiny, vibrant expressions of the same fundamental forces that build and rebuild the universe itself. This cosmic empathy is the final, crucial step, preparing us to look back at the entire journey and understand its deepest meaning for our place in the infinite. A galaxy does not ask for permission to transform. It simply endures and becomes something new. This raw, unthinking resilience is perhaps the most profound inspiration the cosmos has to offer us. We watch as a spiral galaxy, its beautiful structure torn apart by a gravitational encounter, does not simply vanish. It gathers the scattered pieces of its own being, harnesses the chaotic energy of the collision, and forges a new existence, often grander and more stable than before. That journey from devastation to integration is a universal story of hope written across the void. When we face our own personal collisions, the sudden job loss, the end of a relationship, the unexpected illness, it can feel like our entire world is being pulled apart. But the galaxy teaches us that this very upheaval can be the catalyst for a profound reinvention. The same pressures that threaten to break us can also compress our spirit, forcing hidden strengths and new talents to ignite. A galaxy's recovery is not a return to its old self. It is the creation of a new one, and so it is with us. We are not meant to emerge from hardship unchanged, but to be remade by it, our experiences woven into the fabric of a wiser, more resilient identity. What lesson in grace under pressure could be more powerful than that of a celestial giant, quietly and patiently reassembling itself over eons? This cosmic perspective reframes our own struggles, not as unique failures, but as part of a fundamental, universal process of growth through adversity. The inspiration lies in realizing that the laws of physics themselves favor resilience, that the universe is built to support systems that can absorb shock and re-emerge with renewed purpose. Let these galactic stories be a silent, steady reminder during your own difficult transitions. Your current chaos is not an ending, but a slow, gravitational dance leading to a future self you have not yet met, a stronger and more integrated whole, forged in the very fires that once threatened to consume you. Our journey across the emotional spectrum of the cosmos reveals a universe that feels. From the fiery passion of stellar birth to the profound grief of galactic cannibalism, every gravitational collision writes a new chapter in this grand narrative. We have seen how these immense forces of attraction and chaos are not just physical processes, but the very language of celestial feeling. This understanding does more than expand our knowledge of galaxies. It transforms how we see our own lives. Our moments of joy and sorrow, our periods of turmoil and peace, are human-scale echoes of these universal patterns. The night sky is no longer a cold, distant void, but a vibrant tapestry of stories, each star a potential character in an ongoing emotional epic. I invite you to share which galactic emotion resonated most with you in the comments below, and to subscribe so we can keep unraveling the mysteries of space together. Let us continue looking upward, finding both wonder and wisdom in the emotional lives of the stars.